my pride and joy, the Tarot of Prague. I have a few different versions of this. So I obviously have the newest printing that came out. I bought it at the same time as the Victorian Romantic Tarot when they did the reprint this past year. So there's that one. I also have the previous edition in the clamshell. This is the one that I work with the most. I've had it the longest. And then most recently I acquired, and it still boggles my mind. I have a first edition. Don't ask me how I got this, and for like a reasonable price. I mean, still expensive, right? But not like $700 or what some of them are going for. Yeah, I never thought I would get my hands on this. So again, let's take them out and see what we've got. So we'll start with this one, newest edition. A little white book as always. Cover card, title card. And first edition. So this one comes in like this little booklet thing. It's kind of bizarre. I've never seen anything like this before. And not the best. I mean, unless you tie it really tight, those cards are going to be able to fall out. So it's like this little limited edition, numbered 1500, 29 out of 3500. And then the little white book for this one is actually attached here. So that's that. Again, we've got a title card, 2003. So obviously, like, immediate difference that I see here is that the borders are significantly wider on the first edition. Let's try and center these a little bit better. Thicker cardstock on these. I don't know if you guys can tell from that. This one, yeah, definitely thicker. The backs are, for the most part, the same, just a little bit of coloration difference. So we've got obviously much yellower, kind of like a parchmenty color, and then more white, silver, gold here. These are, for the most part, completely the same from when I've looked through them. There's only some slight, I think only even one card that there is an that there's different artwork for. So they're pretty much the same. So let's give it a little flip through. I love this little dog. He is so cute. Oh, one thing we can also look at here. So between these two editions, the later editions, they both have the cold foil stamping. This one, you can probably tell immediately, has significantly more than this one does. I like this. I think that the colors are bright enough that it doesn't obscure as much as, say, like the Bohemian Gothic does. But I do really enjoy more of the subtlety of this version. This cardstock is not as flimsy as the first edition of the Victorian Romantic. It is much sturdier. It has more, not as much give. It's thicker, but it has almost more of that like kind of cardboardy feel, but not horrible. High Priestess has largely stayed the same. Obviously, they've changed some details. I haven't had this one that long, so I haven't really looked really closely at it, but you can see here on her pillars, like, we are quite ornate here, but over here we've got the seashells, which brings in that water element, which is neat. The Empress, just obviously more zoomed in here. Emperor. The Hierophant. I do like how they've enhanced the colors here. We've got more blues. Kind of changed the angle of like where the figure is standing in this room. Just a lot more depth, I guess, I get from these ones than this guy. Still have the World there. The Lovers, the same. And the Chariot, so we have a bit of a difference here in terms of where the Chariot is flying. They're much more up in the air, whereas they're much closer to the ground here. But same building here in the background. More of a risk, obviously, here, because you're much higher up in the air. Oh, that was the extra card. We'll talk about that in a minute. Strength, the same. I love this Strength card. It's one of my favorites. Just the colors absolutely pop. This copper color in this deck is just stunning. They've got it more here in her red hair. And that green color really pops in this newest edition as well. The Hermit. This is not actually one of my favorite Hermit cards. I don't hate it. I really like the colors of the different houses, but it doesn't, to me, really give that idea of isolation. Wheel of Fortune, same. Justice. Hanged Man. I love this Hanged Man. It's the colors again, just that, it's the copper colors in this deck. Just, oh, I love it. So this is a difference. There we are. So let's do this. So we have all three death cards here. Those guys are the same, but this is the difference. This is a different version, a different alternate. I really like this one. I kind of honestly wish that this was the one in all of them. I don't know what it is. I love it. It is so pretty. There's a face here, faces in the rock formation. And then Death back here has an hourglass ticking down the minutes before he can go and take that night. I don't know. I wish this card was in the other ones as an alternate rather than those ones. Truly. Yeah, so there we have all three of them. This one to me is more like Death lying in wait again, which I guess similar kind of concept here. This one I don't particularly care for. Yeah, those are the death cards. Temperance, beautiful. That color, the yellow, is just gorgeous. The Devil. And the Tower. I'm probably going to repeat myself 500 times, but just the colors in this deck is absolutely stunning. Like even this first edition that does not have any cold foiling whatsoever is just absolutely beautiful. Star. Some very clear differences in the color. This one is quite warm, whereas they've gone in and added the blue here. And the moon. This one has all three of the sun. I definitely prefer this version of the sun card over the weird baby. And it's not even so much the baby. I think it's the horse that creeps me out in this one. Yeah. Can't say I'm a fan of that one. So I was glad to see in the new edition that they actually took the baby one version out. Yeah. These two are different though, in terms of like the background. Same figure on the horse, but different location. I like how this is in the gardens and you can see all the flowers. Pretty. Judgment. The World. And the Ace of Wands. So here's where you can see, if you remember from the Victorian Romantic, how, so these guys are kind of like the playing card emblems. So we've got the wands and the ace, or the numbers, up top. So you can see where that misprint occurred in that couple cards of the Victorian Romantic Tarot. Just makes me laugh. Three. I was gonna say, oh, there's more artwork changed, but it really isn't. It's the same statue here with the cow or the bull and the figure here, the Three of Wands. And it's the same background. It's just been colored differently. So it's not quite, they're not quite so removed from each other. They still seem like they're part of the same scene. Same here. I never really noticed it before. This artwork that's detailed here actually kind of pulls me back to the Lovers card. Oh, maybe not. I don't know why that reminded me of this. I guess maybe just the coloring, how it's black and white. But never mind. Five of Wands. I do really like how the cold foil makes certain details pop, so like the wands here. Six of Wands. Again, same basic imagery, just this one, the background is different. I think it's the same building, they've just like zoomed in on that background to make it more prominent in these third or later versions. Seven. I'm not sure how I feel about these. Very obviously a nod to the Marseille style with these types of figures in this deck. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't think they're my favorite. I definitely prefer more this type of collage that they've done with more like the statues as opposed to the like illustrated figures. And this is beautiful. Nine of Wands on the lookout. I think this is like a puppet or like marionette, and I believe, if I'm not incorrect, that Prague is actually known for like their puppets or marionettes. Same image there. Knight. So they've added something down here, which I cannot read. Third, I think that says. Similar, kind of redrawn. Queen. Oh, so immediately these two versions, looking at it flat from the angle that I'm at, I can see the writing down here, but from the angle that I'm at, I cannot see it at all on the newest version. I have to actually pick it up and angle it so that I can see it. So that's just kind of one of those things, like, yes, cold foil stamping is beautiful, but not too much of it, because it actually obscures details, right? King. I like the recoloring that they've done here. It just brings out so many more of the details than what you can see here. Just that like lighting that they've adjusted. Oh, and again, I clearly did not go through and make sure that these were all in order. Here we are. Woo! Dumping things all over the place. Okay. So we'll do cups first. So obviously, so much more rich here. They've gone more to like a, I guess I would say even more like fall, whereas this is like clearly winter. Like, you know, I don't think the river would ever freeze over. It's just too big, but it almost looks like it is, and that it's covered in snow here. So I like the fact here, specifically in the cup, like in the cup suit, that you can tell more that the water is there and that the water would be flowing, as opposed to here where it looks like it's almost iced over just because of the lighting. Pretty much the same here, but they've slightly changed the location, or they've added, there's a bridge here that they've taken out. The same there. So again, different coloration. It just pops so much more of how they've added the like the blue, the gray there, as opposed to like the terracotta almost, is what that looks like to me. These guys are so cute. Yeah, definitely, again, the recoloration here just makes them pop all that much more. Slight changes in what they actually have in the cups that are represented. A couple of them are the same. We just have definitely more like elements represented here as opposed to people. This is one of my probably favorite 8 of Cups ever. It's just stunning. Just the colors in the new, oh, like they're nice here, like they're very vibrant as well, but like it just takes it to another level here. Like those turquoises and the coppers, oh, just stunning. Oh, there's a little cat in this one. Same there. And same. Again, it's just how they've changed it so that there's more depth within the image, because we seem very close to these buildings here and then we're further out. This is cool, this color gradation here that they have. I do like that. Yeah, I don't know. Queen of Cups, same. King, here's another one of those almost like Marseille-esque figures. And again, slight background change there. Still have the mermaid, different mermaid. And we also have a ship there in the back. Oh, I guess we do. Oh, we do here as well. But just the way that it's positioned, I thought it was part of the cup. So you couldn't actually tell. Whereas here, you can actually tell that they're two separate things because they're just right on top of each other here. I do like the richness of the reds in this. The look on his face just kills me. Like dreading what's to come. Oh, don't make the wrong decision. I like this simplified version. It's not, this is quite busy, having that extra figure there and all the buildings like in, these ones are in shadow, right? So it really draws your attention to the main image. Whereas this one seems much more cluttered just because they're all in the same like color grade. These guys are the same. This is, I love this card. Excuse me. Dragon sneaking up behind them. It's basically the same here, just slightly different positioning. We also have a swan here. 7, 8. Different background there. I like the illumination in that, but you also have it here with the torches. I like that the swords are hovering and not actually piercing. But also this idea that this is a statue, right? And it's much more obvious in the coloration here that it's a stone statue. There's still that element of finality set in stone. But then these ones, it's almost like the setting behind it is much more doom and gloom. It's much more, seems much more enclosed. Okay, so immediately color difference here. We've got like peacock feather coloring here versus just regular, what's the word I'm looking for? Chainmail's not right, but armor. That's interesting, because for me, I would think like peacock colors would be more associated almost with either the, probably like the Page of Wands, or even more like the Knight of Wands versus Page of Swords. I'm gonna have to think about that one for a bit. So when I think of the Page of Swords, it's more that intellectual learning, like maybe hunkering down with a book and not necessarily drawing attraction, like drawing attention to oneself. Much more of like a solitary being, I guess. So the fact that they've got them in peacocks, I understand why they've changed it. It's just interesting why they made that choice initially. All these little details that you don't necessarily notice the first time around. Our knight. Again, the coloring here is interesting, how it's this bright coppery, like it immediately makes me think fire as opposed to air, or like swords. And he's got quite the getup with his like feathers on the helmet and stuff. Again, drawing attention, so it makes me think wands. Queen. These are all the same. King. And again, just the colors, that turquoise. Oh, it's so lovely. And the aces. I love the aces, the pentacles. I absolutely love the coins in this suit. They're just beautiful. This makes me think Yellow Brick Road. Wizard of Oz. All right, we've got Mr. Mozart here, still a different getup here. This one obviously looks much more natural. This one, like, you can literally tell that they've collaged that outfit onto him. And I do like that it's dark in this scene, because we've got a banner for Don Giovanni. So obviously, you know, if you're going to an operatic performance, it would be in the evening, typically. At least in those days, it wouldn't have been in the afternoon, which is what this one's showing. So this, to me, makes more sense. But I do like the green. That pop of green is cool. Five of Pentacles. Yeah. Oh, she's covered in snow. It's very, very sad, you know, grief-stricken. But at the same time, the fact that it's a statue in front of this prominent building, like it's like a statue in the middle of a square almost, makes me think that we've moved past these harsh times that's depicted here. I mean, obviously times still are kind of harsh right now because we're in a winter scene and there's snow. At least that's what it looks like to me, that there's snow built up on that statue. But the fact that it's a statue, we've actually moved on and we're remembering the rough times, but we've been able to move past that. Shepherd. Yeah, so here we have in the Ace of, or the Eight of Pentacles here, we've got the marionettes, I believe, that Prague is known for. So that harkens back to that previous card. So just showing like the workmanship. Yeah. Another one that I just love the colors. I'm just calling everything the Ace today. Nine of Pentacles. And the 10. I love that. Coming home from war and the first thing you do is greet your dog. Yeah. Page. Almost like studying architecture. The Knight. I love the coloring that they've used in this card. It's so cool. Like it reminds me of stone, but at the same time, it's got this like ethereal element to it. Like not an enchantment necessarily, but how do I explain what I'm thinking? Like they are what's going to bring prosperity or the manifestation of, you know, good things in the future. Just that color palette just makes me think of, yeah, like they hold the magic within them to bring prosperity. And yeah, I think that's, if that doesn't make sense, just ignore me. Queen. And the King. Yeah. So as we could see, these two later versions were very similar. There wasn't much differentiation other than, I believe, the Sun card. They removed the extra card and they added the additional gold foil or cold stamping. But the other thing that I grabbed out and I forgot to mention when we got there to the end of the majors was they did actually include in the newest edition this extra card of Prudence, which is not in either of the other two. I believe it was in one of the earlier, maybe like one of the initial special editions. In fact, let's see here. I'm pretty sure there's a page in the book here about this. Prudence. We decided to add an extra Prudence card to this 2024 edition of the Tarot of Prague. This is partly as a nod to the 2005 edition, which had this additional card. This time, though, we've made an entirely new image, so it's unique to this edition. So they have included Prudence as a card in the 2025 edition. This is in the 2005 edition. This is the 2003, so it's not in this one. But it is a different image than what was in the previous card. So yeah, so there is, you know, when they said that they were going to reprint Tarot of Prague, I was so excited. I remember when I first kind of got into BabaStudios, or heard of them, I was looking through their website and seeing all of their past decks that they've done that were no longer in print. And this was, the Tarot of Prague was the one that jumped out at me the most in terms of the artwork that I was most interested in, that drew me to it. But at that time, they were like, no, we're not going to ever reprint this. And then lo and behold, they did. So I was really excited to be able to get another copy of it. So yeah, this was a very long video. Typically I don't edit. This one though, I might go and edit some of the stuff out. So hopefully it kind of shortens it a little bit. Yeah, so it kind of turned into a little bit of a walkthrough of two different decks. So I hope you indulged me. If you stuck around, thank you so much. If you skipped through it, that's okay too. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed taking a look at these decks. They're just so beautiful, and I know with it now being, you know, getting into Christmas time, I've got my tree up, the lights are sparkling, and it just made me really think of like the cold foil stamping on the majority of the BabaStudios decks. And so I thought, you know, let's go with the sparkle theme and we'll take a look at all these. So yeah. And again, yeah, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for putting up with me. And yeah, I think we'll see you fairly soon. I think I'm going to do another video relatively soon now that we're moving into the Christmas season. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye.